を全てを欺いて己を全てを欺いて崩れ落ちて光さ
How was my day? Let me tell you. I began it with a charitable contribution to a progressive political candidate in my district. Local politics are important to follow if you want to strengthen your community. Then I proceeded to take my 2 rescue dogs, Ron and Hermione, for a walk. I'd changed their names, but they only respond to those ones now. After which I drove to my job where I make minimum wage with 0 benefits. Then finally, I joined my college friends for a rep screening of a beloved 1980s horror classic. What did you do?
Cried.
That's it?
I liked some racist tweets and then cried.
At least you sound remorseful about it.
I wasn't.
I'm only a few years older than you. I feel like we shouldn't be this different.
And yet we are. You always do this.
Do what?
You think everything can be fixed.
Well, if we all work together, we can make the world at least a little better.
Soy boy.
Wait, I get it now. It was COVID. It hit everyone hard, but you guys were still in high school or college. It isolated you. It made all of your social lives online. It's why the Minecraft movie is the first sense of community you've ever felt.
Or you're just the sad dingleberry hanging off of the millennial's metaphorical ass. Okay. You're a Walmart brand millennial. We're the real Gen Z.
Maybe this is merely the result of Gen Z being both teenagers and in their late 20s. In a few years, the differences will probably even out.
That's kind of a boring conclusion.
Yeah. Have a nice day, everyone.
shouldn't have done that. When you imbue a curse like that too abruptly, the vessel won't last. The kid's not bad.
On this channel, I like to try out different kinds of niche creative hobbies that have some sort of mystifying technical element to them. And this video is no different. I'm diving into the world of cassette hacking. There are many ways that you can mess with tapes to create specific effects, like you can make tape loops, you can mess with recording and playback speeds, you can make a tape delay, you can make a whole setup with tape mixes, etc. I'm just going to experiment with a couple of those things in this video. So I ordered myself a cassette player / recorder from eBay. I was originally thinking that I would be modding a cassette player to add speed control because changing the playback speed is quite a common way that people mess with tapes to get interesting sounds, but the particular model I got actually already has a speed control knob built in, so I don't need to bother doing that. This tape recorder also has the ability to record in double time, and it has a built-in mic as well as a mic input, so it's got a good amount of things to play with just as it is. I also got myself some tapes, obviously, and the first thing I decided to do was to try and make a tape loop, which is where you cut a short piece of tape and stick the ends together to make a loop which just continuously plays over and over. So to do this, first I unscrewed the case of the tape and took it apart. Then I cut a length of tape. Then I stuck down the remaining roll of tape to make this wheel bigger so that the tape loop will be slightly longer. Now to make the loop, I had to try and cut the right length of tape for it to be able to go around the wheels and everything and still have a little bit of slack. Then I stuck the ends together and put it back into the tape. But I gave it a bit too much slack, so I had to cut some off and stick it together again. This time it was just about right. So then I put the tape back together again and put it in the tape recorder to test it. So yeah, that worked. Now I'm going to try recording using the mic input, and what I'm going to do is use an aux cord to connect the headphone output of my audio interface into the mic input of the tape recorder. This way I can take any audio from my computer and record it onto a tape. In this case, I'm going to record some of this patch I made in VCV Rack like so. Then I want to record this back into my computer so that I can play with the sample in Ableton. The way that I'm going to do that is plug the aux into the headphone output of the tape recorder and plug that into the line input on my audio interface. So that sounded cool, especially the speed changes and stuff, but you've probably noticed that there's a gap in the recording at the end of the loop. This is because there's a space here between the erase and record heads, so when I stop it recording, there's this section of the tape loop that has been erased but not had any new recording put onto it. To avoid this, you can stick something either over the erase head itself or on the tape where the erase head goes. This means that you could record sounds on top of sounds because nothing is being erased, or you can time stopping the recordings so that you just get one recording on the loop. I recorded this patch from VCV Rack for a bit, so it recorded a few times over and got this sample. Then I tried stopping the recording roughly where the loop ends to just have one single sound, and I got this. I also just recorded a couple of things on a regular tape. I recorded a bit of piano and guitar from Ableton, and if I played the original sound next to the tape recorded version, you can really hear how the tape recorder changes the sound, making it nice and lo-fi and saturated. I ended up combining some of the samples I recorded and added a few effects and things in Ableton to produce this short bit of ambient music. And yeah, that's as far as my experimentation with cassette players has gone so far. It would be cool to build a complete tape setup at some point. But for now, I've enjoyed just playing with a simple tape loop and just taking a few samples that I can then work with in Ableton.
Get Kid Rock's grit sandwiches for breakfast, Creed's Human Clay, and new tattoo for Motley Crue. All at Harmony House.
I know I said we weren't gonna keep doing this, but I don't know what it is. There's just don't see you. People I love don't dream much. They say, but them same people spend their whole life thinking about all the shoulda, coulda, might, and maybes. How to live a life abundantly with their ideas. 60. What if never mind, never mind, never mind, oh. What if never mind, never mind, never mind, oh. What if never mind, never mind, never mind, oh. What if never mind, never mind, never mind, oh. Honestly, you're not beyond me. I don't know what I need. No more patience, please. Free me from all things. A little more confidence. No strategy, and I'm thankful for my mistakes. No like confrontation from what I might say. What if never mind, never mind, never mind, oh. What if never mind, never mind, never mind, oh. Thank